The period in American history referred to as the Roaring Twenties was caused by the aftermath of World War I, when young people wanted to forget the horrors of the war and enjoy life again. Women had gained a new level of independence, were attending college, earning wages, and had been given the right to vote. Women and young men of the 1920s were challenging traditional values and exchanging them for modern ideas. Lifestyles had changed from rural country living to the fast urban lifestyle of the crowded cities. America was beginning to prosper, and new technology, mass production, and labor-saving devices gave Americans more time for leisure, which they spent at sporting events, dance clubs, and movies. All of these contributed to the causes of the Roaring Twenties.
Yo, welcome to the 1920s. So just to catch y'all up, the 19th Amendment just got passed. The 19th Amendment to the United States Constitution granted women the right to vote, prohibiting any United States citizen to be denied the right to vote based on sex. Limited voting rights were gained by women in Finland, Iceland, Sweden, and some Australian colonies and western U.S. states in the late 19th century. It took them over 70 years to earn this right.
Where you from? It's exclusive. Oh, hey, you wanna take a selfie? Come on. Hey, girl, guess what? What? We get to vote now!
Put a channel back. In the Prohibition era, the manufacture and sale of alcohol was banned, instituted with the ratification of the 18th Amendment and enacted by Volstead Act. Prohibition was viewed as the solution to the nation's poverty, crime, violence, abuse towards women and children, and other problems. Ironically, Prohibition opened the nation to unintended consequences such as bootlegging, speakeasies, gangsters, corruption, and the rise of organized crime. Here's a small clip of how things went down.
Hey, bro, you got the Jag? What you mean? You mean the drag juice? Yeah, bro, let me get some of that. Hey, what y'all doing?
So I guess we're talking a little bit about Babe Ruth and the World Series. The World Series is the annual championship series of Major League Baseball in North America. Back in the 1920s, baseball was the biggest sport in America. These games were so huge, so packed, and just so important to the American people. Riots began because of rivalry between the teams. One of the biggest baseball players during this time is a player known as Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth was a junior. He was an American professional baseball player whose career in Major League Baseball spanned 22 seasons from 1914 through 1935. He began his career as a pitcher. Ruth was both a left-handed pitcher and a left-handed batter. Ruth played for the Boston Red Sox 1914 through 1919, the New York Yankees 1920 through 1934, and briefly the Boston Braves in 1935. Some people called him Bambino, the home run king, and even the Sultan of Swats. Babe had a home run record of 714. Although he died in 1948, over the course of time, Babe seems to continue to live on the hearts of his fans.
I'm the great Bambino. Oh. Who's that? What?
I had no idea who they were talking about.
What did you say? What, were you born in a barn, man? Yeah, what planet are you from?
But there was no way I could let them know.
You never heard of the Sultan of Swat? The Titan of Terror. The Colossus of Clout? The Colossus of Clout.
The king of trash, man.
So, I lied.
Oh, yeah, the Great Bambino. Of course. I thought you said the Great Bambi. That wimpy deer? Yeah, I guess. Sorry.
The Harlem Renaissance was a period during the 1920s when African American achievements in art, literature, and music flourished. It was a period of great diversity and experimentation. The World War I Great Migration saw the movement of thousands of African Americans from the farmlands in the South to the cities in the North in order to find new opportunities and build better lives. During the Harlem Renaissance, African Americans embraced literary, musical, theatrical, and visual arts. A very important aspect in the Harlem Renaissance was its poetry. Harlem Renaissance poets were inspired to write eloquent poems and poetry that reflected history, heritage, life, and aspirations of Black Americans.
Life is like a thorny rose. Not perfect, but beautiful.
When life gives you lemonade, you make lemonade. When you get happy, you stay happy. Thank you.
Roses are red, bonnets are blue. Dej, I love you.
Oh, I'm putting that in there. Snap. I love you more. So now on to flappers. Flappers were a generation of young Western women in the 1920s who wore short skirts, bobbed their hair, listened to jazz, and flaunted their disdain for what was then considered acceptable behavior. In the 1920s, a new woman was born. She smoked, drank, danced, and voted. She cut her hair, wore makeup, and went to petting parties. She was giddy and took risks. She was a flapper. Introducing Camrisha, Jackson, and Rashandra. These women are carefree, risk takers, rule breakers. They are flappers.
Founded in 1866, the Ku Klux Klan extended into almost every southern state by 1870 and became the vehicle for white southern resistance to the Republican Party's Reconstruction-era policies aimed at establishing political and economic equalities for blacks. The revival of the second Ku Klux Klan was inspired by the silent movie Birth of a Nation. KKK members participated in acts such as hangings, lynchings, creating riots, marches, and protests against groups such as African Americans, the new immigrants, Catholics, Jews, and any other groups who represented un-American values or beliefs such as organized labor. Many protestant Americans feared the nation was losing its traditional religious values and morals, which gave rise to the fundamentalist movement, which was firmly supported by the KKK. The most famous event staged by the KKK was the march down Pennsylvania Avenue on August 8, 1925. 50 to 60,000 KKK members, all wearing robes and insignia of the KKK, marched down the street. Cheyenne.
You are?
Kim.
And I'm Dej, and we just want to thank you for watching.
You want to say anything?
No.
Okay. Well, we worked very hard on this project, so I hope you guys enjoyed it.
You guys laughed. I laughed.
And, yeah. Okay.
Well, we just want to say bye, guys, and thank you for watching. And I'm Dej, that's Cam, that's Cheyenne, and we appreciate it. And that's it. Bye.
That's how they wanted it.
Action.
Where you get your He ain't say it loud enough. Hey, girl, we get the ball. No, not yet. Go back.
You're going to be the bougie one.
Girl, where you get your
At his ankles, because you know even
I got hair on my stomach.
You shave your stomach?
Yes.
Get them.
Right.
And then when she backs up, y'all just like model.
I ain't gay.
Y'all don't know how to be girls.
Okay, that was good.
Hey, girl.
That's now, girl. Boom. Switch it. Bow. Work it. Oh, work it. Somebody look back at it. Somebody look back at it. There you go. There you go. Boom.
This way.
Top with them.
You been tricked them? How much?
What's up, nigga? Look good?
Don't make me laugh.
Go back, go back.
Tongue out. Tongue out.
Side to the side.